were really good in that counseling session. You were open and not afraid to discuss issues. What's it been like for you being here at Pendleton?
It's been weird being here. It's just you get locked up. It's a whole different experience in the real world. So
How,
it's just
how could you explain it to somebody who's never been locked up?
it's not the place to be. It's not fun of it. It's not fun of any sort. It's just not the place to be.
So what'd you do that got you locked up?
Stole Grand Theft Auto. Stole stuff. My biggest problem in life is just stealing things, touching things that don't belong to me.
Really? So when did that start? Can you remember?
When I was 13. It started when I met a girl, then I started running away. I got in a gang and went on from there. Then the gang had me do things, so just stealing cars.
You know, it's funny, just look at you, nobody'd ever guess in a million years.
A lot of people tell me that.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Do you believe that?
I believe it. It's just I didn't grow up with my parents. I grew up with my grandparents, so I didn't know what to do. They didn't really teach me how to do things, so I had to learn on my own. Learn what was right from wrong from doing it.
So were you just surrounded by a lot of kids in the neighborhood?
I'm more of a leader on the outs than a follower, and in here I'm more of a leader too. I do things, and what's the word I'm looking for? I condemn other people to do them with me, and just go from there.
So what kind of kid would you describe yourself when you were on the outs? What were you like when you were out?
I like to do things. I don't like to be in the house all day. I like to go out and do things. Really, sometimes not the right thing. But since I've been locked up the past 2 years, I've learned fully what's right from wrong, what not to do and what to do.
Were you surprised when you got sentenced to the Department of Correction?
I knew it was coming. I just pushed my luck because the time before I got locked from coming to DOC, I got locked up and they said, you're on your way to DOC. I just looked at them and laughed like they were a joke, so... And then I stole some cars. I went out and stole some cars, and that's finally when they decided, yeah, you're going to the DOC.
So explain to me what's going through your mind when you decide to steal cars. I mean, what possesses somebody to just want to go steal cars?
Well, I was walking with my friend, and I was going through a car for a pack of cigarettes because I liked to smoke at the time, and I found a set of keys, and then I just put the key. I looked for the car and found the car that it went to, and I started it up, and I just started driving it. And then I drove it till it ran out of gas, and then I just kept going. And I don't know, it wasn't really exciting. It was just, I don't know how to explain it.
So was that it, Grand Theft Auto? Were there any drug charges? Or
Yeah, I had one drug charge for marijuana and methadone pills.
So do you remember when you started getting interested in drugs and all?
Yeah, when I was 13. A friend introduced me to him, and I did him. Alcohol is really more my thing. That's what I do, alcohol. I don't really like, unless I'm at a party or something, I'll do weed, but it's not like I'm addicted to it and I go buy it or whatever all the time.
So what did kind of a life of drugs and crime when you were a teenager, what'd that do for you? I mean, did you just not care and figure, I'm going to do what I want to do?
I'm just the type of person that if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Nobody's going to talk me out of doing it. If I'm really going to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm the type of person that I don't like being told what to do. So.
You know, a lot of people would say, yeah, I didn't like being told what to do either, but I didn't steal cars.
Yeah, but yeah. I've learned not to do it, and I've learned where it's going to get me. You're going to get caught eventually, so there's really no point in doing it.
You say your grandparents pretty much raised you?
Since I was 8.5 months old, they did.
Do you know where your parents are?
No, my dad, he could walk through the door right now and I wouldn't have any idea that was him. And my mom, she tries to be there for me, but she really doesn't. She was going to try to actually have me come home and stay with her, but she doesn't have the money for it, so.
So you're going to go back to your grandma?
Yep, my grandparents, so.
I've talked to a lot of kids who live with their grandparents. Do you guys talk about that, your family situations?
Yeah, I talk about it with people all the time, really. Just a lot of people I've talked to in here, the J3s, the juveniles, they relate to me on it. They don't know their mom or their dad, so I kind of relate to a lot of people on that.
That's a big part of it with a lot of kids that we've met over the past 10 years.
I think it's better for me not knowing my dad than, like, if I would have grew up to the age 13, then he would have walked out. I think it's better for me not knowing him at all.
Because you don't know any different.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Does that make you think about what kind of adult and what kind of parent you want to be someday?
The kind of parent I'm gonna be is I'm gonna be there for my child. I'm not gonna walk out, because if you're gonna get somebody pregnant, you should think before you do it. You know that you're gonna have to be there if you have a kid or whatever. That's immature really to me, not to be there for your kid. That's not right for them.
How hard do you think it is to break the cycle of life that you've sort of lived? Because we've had a lot of kids say, man, I'm scared to go back home.
I'm scared. It's gonna be real hard for me because I've been locked up so long. This is really what I know right here. Get up in the morning, same old thing, do this at this time. When I get out, I'm not gonna have to worry about that. It's just I'm gonna be able to do what I want. It's gonna be tempting. It's really tempting, especially the people that's in my life. They're gonna be trying to, yeah, come do this drug, come to this party, get drunk with us. I'm gonna have to say no. It's gonna be hard, and they're gonna look at me like, that's not cool. And I'm gonna look at them like, well, if you've been where I've been, you'll see why. So.
Would you talk to your old friends about what it's been like on the inside to maybe get them to understand?
Oh yeah, of course. Especially my friend, my partner in crime, when I was stealing the cars. He's out there. He's 20 now. He was 16 when I was locked up. He's 20 now. He's on his way to prison. Hopefully I can get out and tell him, look, man, you need to quit doing this type of stuff. Cause I was in juvenile prison, and you definitely don't want to go there. So to men's prison.
Is it harder than you thought it would be initially?
Oh yeah, I thought it was just because my juvenile in my town in Columbus, Indiana, there's no fights really. You just sit there all day and that's it. But here, you look at somebody the wrong way, you have to worry you get in a fight or whatever. And if you get in a fight with one type of person, you get jumped or whatever, and just.
You know, we've talked to a lot of kids inside who, when I said, you know, what's your biggest fear about being here, or when you first got here, what scared you the most, and almost everybody said being jumped.
I've been jumped a couple of times, but I'm not scared of it. Of course, I don't want it, but if it happens, it happens. But I usually don't put myself in that position to get that done to me, though.
How do you stay out of trouble on the inside? Because that's the other thing we've heard is, look, I got to defend myself, but then when you defend yourself, you get dropped levels. That keeps you here longer. How do you stay out of trouble inside?
You got to choose who you talk to. Like if you talk to certain people, you know, if you get real cool with them, when they get in a fight, they're gonna expect you to be their up and jump person. So really, you just gotta, like if I'm trying to go home, for example, I gotta talk to other people that's trying to go home too, not people that's like, F it, I don't care, that type of thing. Like Seg ain't nothing to me. Them type of people, you just don't associate with certain people if you know they're trouble. You gotta stay away from them.
If somebody's acting silly and running around and throwing toilet paper and doing things and stealing things and knocking the officer's hat off, and could that be dangerous to somebody else? How could it be dangerous?
Because that officer is there to protect you, and if they're getting beat up, a kid could be getting beat up too at the same time. They really.
It's true, and I've seen it before. I have seen where kids will go and distract the officer or do something to him. It really, they could care less about that officer. It's to get everybody's eyes on that. So I could beat up somebody in room 3.
Really?
And nobody's gonna know what happened. They're gonna see he's marked up, but nobody saw it. You can't prove it.
Jaw way over here.
Exactly. We're all here to be safe, right?
Yeah.
We're all here to do our program and go home and not be here a day longer than we have to, right? So can we kind of agree that we're all in it together? Yeah? Okay. All right. New topic. Who has something they want to discuss and get out to the group?
You need to say.
Do you have anything you want to discuss and get out to the group?
Go home.
You just want to go home?
Don't get no majors. Shit.
How are things going with the whole racial tension in the
It's
unit?
better now that Clark and
Is it better now? Because I mean that was a problem for a while.
they know they don't want that.
Nah, they don't want that. I'm gonna keep it real.
So how did we fix that solution?
Leave the people that's in save right now and say,
Right.
don't bring them back to this unit.
Right. Let them people stay in SAG while we have time to go home.
Because one person get to beat them up, everybody.
And it's not a game.
Okay, so the offenders that are currently in SAG,
I consider myself.
with them being gone, that kind of helps squash. We don't have the tension going on. We're all hugging each other and gonna be okay.
Yeah, I'll be sending them back and then they be doing stuff just to go back to SIG.
Yep.
They look funny.
Yep. Because they like it there. It's their vacation.
Atkinson, where he at?
Speaking of, oh my gosh, you're here. Say was full.
So, all right, so we're good on that. Does anybody have, because I know you all have issues you like to talk about. Trust me, I'm your counselor, I know, because you always come running to me. This is our time to get them out. So, I mean, we've had a rough 5 days. This is the time to say, let's get everything out and move on so that way things are better. Go ahead, Edgar.
Yeah, my thing, these groups, man. Like, you was going for a whole week, and now it's a whole nother week of groups.
But remember, I told you, when I'm gone, those groups won't get held against you. We've still got our target date. Middle of April, be done. We'll be done. We got another group right after this. So you're cool. You're fine. But you gotta still do what you want to do. Go ahead, Mark.
I put a laundry request in 10 days ago. I still ain't got no shoes yet.
People just put out requests yesterday. They got
Fuck it. Yeah, I've been asking for like 10 days to get some shoes.
Let me see. Do you have any shoes?
No.
Mike.
Yeah, it's got some shower shoes on. It's kind of dingy, you know.
I can email Mr. Rain. See what's going on with them. Huh?
So we gotta make it interesting.
Oh, okay.
Listen,
I'm talking about, okay, let's, besides the normal stuff,
whoa, I want to say
let's,
something.
okay, go ahead.
I don't have no clothes. I'm wearing his jumpsuit.
That's
And it's
some
too
bums.
big.
That's some bum status type
Look,
stuff.
look how big this is. This ain't my size. This is too big.
Well, no. Between Sergeant Barnes and Officer Seals, they're going to be doing the searches to make sure people have the clothes they're supposed to have. And that brought up my next topic.
Uh-oh.
Gambling.
Cameron, why you do that?
I've gotten emails about certain offenders who go to school and all they do is talk about what they won in their gambling debts and who owes them what and who's doing what, and love to bring me in this and say that I told them they were allowed to bet. So, why is gambling against the rules here?
They're trying to set you up, Miss Rogers.
I know.
They get people messed up. They get people messed up.
Exactly.
It's okay. I know it's not true.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen because it's just how it is.
Ain't nobody stopping.
Yep.
They can do it on low.
They can try their hardest, but
They want to bet, they get in debt, they get in debt.
But here's the problem I see. You get the person here who doesn't know how to stop. They're going to gamble and gamble and gamble and gamble and gamble. So then they lost all their snacks, they've lost all their main, they've lost their commissary, they've lost their clothes. So they are in debt so much that they can't pay back.
They just the debt.
But, do the flip side. So then they will come say, well, I'm being punked out of all my stuff. And get people in trouble.
that's when they go to SEG for PC a couple weeks, come back and still get beat up just the same as they would before they went.
But what is
They just get
gambling
it
gonna
twice
help
as
get you
bad.
out of here?
What? Not SEG, not PC.
Because I would imagine there are a lot of kids that want to bring other kids down.
They're what you call haters. When they find out you go home, if you don't have respect, they'll jump you or whatever, beat you up before you go home. So.
Have you spent any time in SAG?
Yeah, when I first got here, I was in SEG. The first 3 months I was here, I was perfect. Then after that, they wouldn't let me go home when they were supposed to, so I started acting up. I was in SEG quite a bit. It's not fun at all.
Yeah, we filmed a lot. didn't we?
Yeah,
Kind
it's
of
not
crazy
fun.
fight.
It's not fun.
What would you want to say to other kids who, we have a lot of younger viewers who watch these shows, who are out there gangbanging, 13, 14 years old. They think they're cool, trying to, be a part of a family. What would you say to them now that you've been through what you've been through?
Well, I used to be a gang member, and sometimes you have to do things that you don't necessarily want to do, and if you don't do them, you get beat up, and here on the outs, you get killed. It's not what you want, really. It's not cool, because later on down the road, you get up to a certain part of the gang, you have to kill people just one of the things you got to do, and it's not cool.
I've asked this question a lot. How do you ever get out of a gang once you're in?
Well, there's a certain thing you got to do once you get to a certain rank in a gang. It's called folding your flag. You do that. That when you get a certain rank, you can do that. That's what a lot of people do.
Explain what folding your flag is.
You say, well, if you're in here, what I did was, you're given a prayer. You know how you pray to Jesus or whatever. You sit down, you close your eyes, and you say a prayer to get out of it. That's what you do. On the outs, though, you would take whatever gang you were in, Vice Lord, IG, whatever. You would take a blue or red flag and fold it so many times and say a prayer. But in here, you just say the prayer, just a prayer.
So then, okay, on the outs, you went out of your gang, you fold your flag.
Mm-hmm.
They just let you out?
No, you might have to worry about somebody trying to find you and trying to kill you. But most of the time, so many people want to join a gang, they just go get another person to replace you, so it's really nothing to them.
Is it really that easy to recruit kids to be?
Mm-hmm, it's real easy because kids, they think they don't know nothing. They never grew up in a hood or whatever, and they want to be in a gang. So they come from the country or whatever. Yeah, I want to be a gang member. It sounds cool. Then when they get into it 2 or 3 months later, they find out they got to do a whole bunch of things, beat people up, fight people. It's not cool.
Do you think... So, you're actually in a pretty good mood because you've got some pretty good news. Tell us what's coming up for you.
I'm getting ready to leave. I've been here 6 months at Pendleton. I'm going home on the 31st. That's Monday, this coming Monday. I'm really happy about it because it's not fun to be here. It's hard. It's actually hard to get out, really, because you got to worry about people messing with you and stuff like that. But I got respect, so I really don't have to worry about that because what I've been through in the past with people.
How did you gain respect? I noticed that in
Just fighting people. When I first got here, I told people, no, I don't want to fight. Then they told me I couldn't go home. So people was like, because most people, they come here and they use the excuse, I'm trying to go home, when really they know they're not getting ready to go home no time soon. They're just scared to fight somebody. I fought the biggest and the baddest people, and after about the sixth person I fought, people was like, oh, he'll fight you, don't mess with him. So.
And then it was easier for you to do your program.
Yep, because if they know that you're gonna do something, even sometimes people, they're called snitches. They get beat up for snitching. If somebody knows somebody's gonna snitch, they won't mess with them. And then very, very rarely, if somebody snitches on somebody, they'll get beat up just as bad for something. So yeah.
It's like a whole world all itself.
Yeah, it's just a whole new world in here, different than the outside.
So what are you most excited about when you get out?
Getting a new car, and my driver's license.
So tell me where you're going to go live once you're out and what your plans are.
I'm going to live with my grandparents. My plan is to get a job, get new friends, a girlfriend maybe, and just get a good paying job and stay away from stuff that's going to get me locked up. Because my next step is prison. That's where I almost went this time, but they decided to send me here. So stay away from that type of stuff.
So do you feel like in a way you were sort of given a second chance? Why not?
Oh yeah, I've been given many chances. This is my second chance before prison. So yeah.
So in total you've been locked up 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years.
6 months here at Pendleton.
Uh-huh.
And before that?
I was at the facility Logansport for a long time, and a facility in Fort Wayne called Northeast. I was there.
So people probably don't realize you guys end up kind of jumping around.
Yeah, we go all over the place. We can go to South Bend, Camp Summit, which is, I don't know where that's at, but it's a long ways away from Indiana. And then there's a boys' school in Bloomington. It's closed down, I think, though.
So have you made what you would consider any friends inside here? Tell me about any relationships you guys form with each other, since you're all kind of going through the same thing.
Really, the biggest relationship that's hardest to get is a white person with a black person, because there's a lot of racial stuff going on in here, because there's white supremacists and stuff like that, just racial stuff going on. But me, I get along with everybody, really. I'm easy to get along with, so.
Yeah, I remember in group they were talking about there were some racial issues.
Uh-huh.
And somebody said, I don't know if it was you, they said, keep the troublemakers down in
Yeah,
SAG.
keep them in SAG, because they're going to get beat up, because really, whenever white people go against black people being locked up, they don't usually win in the juvenile system. So when they have racial riots or whatever.
So, I would imagine a lot of times there's just kind of a few troublemakers on any given unit who can upset the entire.
Oh yeah, one person can disrupt the whole tranquility.
That's interesting. So what would you want to say to people on the outside who think, they drive by here and they go, oh, Pendleton, a bunch of throwaway kids, no good kids.
Most of the kids in here, they get out and they do good. Some of them, they come back. Some people that I'm here with right now, they've been here. This is their third or fourth time being here. Some of them, they just don't care. They don't have no family really in life. They don't have nothing to look forward to in life. So they say, screw it. What's it being locked up another year or two? What's going back to me? I don't have nothing to lose. But me, I have my grandparents in my life, so it's good for me.
What do you think anybody could do to help kids before they got to this point? Anything?
Well, really, the only thing you can do is talk to them and show them what it's like, or tell them what it's like. Explain to them, yeah, this happens, you don't want to do this. My cousin, actually, he just got sentenced to boys' school. He's in Logansport facility right now getting ready to come to boys' school, so.
Do you think that it also comes down to parents or grandparents or brothers and sisters?
It has a lot to do with the type of family setting you were raised in, because me, I was raised with no father. I don't know my father. I don't know him at all. And my mother, she tried to be there occasionally on Christmases or whatever, but she just couldn't. She didn't do a good job. So, yeah.
And that has to affect you.
It does greatly, because I think if I had my mom and dad in my life, my dad could show me, take me places and do things. I wouldn't have to commit crimes to have fun or whatever.
Because I've found that with a lot of kids, they just feel like they had a big piece of their childhood missing.
It's really weird if you don't have your mom and dad, to me. But my grandparents, they've tried their best to be there and take their spot, even though they're older and whatnot.
Oh, good for them.
But they've done a good job, though. They have.
Any final words you want to say about, what it's been like for you, what your hopes are for your future, what people should know?
It's been a great experience for me being locked up. When I get out, I can tell people, yeah, you think it's cool. You're trying to get locked up. It's really not. And my future is don't be locked up for the rest of my life. Do something good with my life.
Well, when we try and track you down in a year, I hope that's exactly the way it is.
All right.
Be out and doing well.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Great interview. Great interview.